Hello and good morning. Welcome to the Fife Property Market Update, and this is for the week commencing the 18th to the 24th. So this is for last week's statistics. For those that are regular of the shows, you will know that we are going to discuss what was happening in Rightmove all across Fife last week. So that is properties that were newly instructed and properties that were sold and had accepted offers on them. We'll then take a look at what activity we specifically have been doing at Fife Properties, and then we'll do a run through of the shows that have taken place. You can go back and rewatch what you want to and take some great information from. But we're going to start with last week's statistics. As I say, if you're a regular to these shows, you'll know that you can put any comments, you can ask questions. If you're not a regular to these shows, then brilliant. This is a great insight if you're looking to sell in Fife, if you're on the market in Fife, if you're looking to buy in Fife, or you are just genuinely curious on what is happening in the Fife property market, then this is brilliant for you. But let's start with the statistics. So we will pull them up just a wee second. There we go. You should be able to see them just there. So this is all agencies right across Fife. So you can see it's broken down into each micro region being the different postcodes in the areas that we cover, and we've taken the statistics from. And as I say, this is all agents that use Rightmove. So straight away you can see off the bat that 154 properties were instructed versus 159 properties sold, which is great to see because there's active buyers. There was 159 properties that had offers accepted on them. So as I say, that is great to see. And we'll do a run through of some of the micro regions. So the first one being 12 properties brought to the market in Cooper versus 7 properties sold. You had East Neuk, 5 properties instructed with a high number of 10 properties sold, which is actually slightly higher for the East Neuk. It tends to float around 6 or 7. So to have 10 is a brilliant result for the East Neuk. St Andrews, 16 properties instructed versus 11 properties sold. Slightly higher of instructed, but it is great to see there's a double figure of properties sold in St Andrews. Again, regulars to the show will know the spiel that I give in terms of the St Andrews property market and how it is performing as of late, especially in the kind of last 12 months. I was having this conversation with a client yesterday and just speaking, saying that for a lot of contributing factors, whether it be the ADS going up to 8%, whether it be the second home council tax increase, whether it be the legislation changing for Airbnb, or whether it be in that the new build David Wilson developments are giving so many incentives that it just meant a lot of people went to the market all at once, which meant there was an oversupply of properties while there wasn't as much demand from buyers. One of the reasons being they were going to a new build instead because they were doing incentives like covering your stamp duty or land and building transaction tax, as you may know it. So that did mean that if you were selling in St Andrews, or even if you're still on the market in St Andrews, it is just about having patience. As long as you are priced realistically and accordingly, as long as your agent is pushing your property out there and ensuring that they are getting as much reach and really maximizing the potential of it, then you will get a buyer. You just need to have patience. Average selling time just now, we're saying around 5 to 6 months. Obviously, there is properties that sell quicker than that. We are currently in the process of negotiating on a property in Spottiswoode Gardens that has not long been on the market, and it's got a brilliant result and some fantastic interest. So it does just show you if it's priced accordingly, if it's an attractive property, and it's in a great location, that it can sell as long as your agent really maximizes on it and showcases it in its best light. So hopefully next week's show, I'll be able to talk about that one in a bit more detail. But that is the St Andrews market. You then have Leavenmouth, 10 properties instructed versus 15 properties sold, some of which are ours, which is great, and we can speak about them shortly. Obviously, Leavenmouth, again, if you're a regular to the show, then you'll know that Leavenmouth is a brilliant market just now. It's really strong for sellers, but likewise for buyers as well, because there's plenty of availability in stock out there. But also sellers are getting some brilliant results. And it is still, I mean, we're nearly hitting a year mark that obviously the commuting links were made available via Leven train station or Cameron Bridge, and we are still seeing a positive impact from that. Dunfermline, 65 versus 67. Higher numbers than what we are normally used to, although we have been seeing that for Dunfermline in the last wee while. And normally we wouldn't say 1 week makes a trend, but week on week is gradually increasing. So maybe this is the new trend, because they used to float around by kind of the mid 40s, early 50s, but it is certainly higher numbers. You then have Glenrothes 20 versus 18, and then Kirkcaldy 26 versus 31. And that's kind of average for those kind of areas. They've got some great price points and a lot of first-time buyer homes available, and also some great family homes. And again, it's the commuting links and the kind of amenities that are close by in those areas. Now, don't forget that is the resale homes only. That's not taking into account new build sales. But for last week, there was only one micro region that had new build sales, and that was Glenrothes, which had two. Now we don't put them in with those numbers because it's not a like for like comparison, but there was two new builds sold in Fife last week. So if you are sitting with a property in either of those micro regions and you're looking to sell, you're looking to go to market, or perhaps you're on the market and you're curious as to what is happening on the market, pick up the phone, speak with us, private messages, get in touch however you prefer, and we'll be more than happy to speak with you and give you more specifics. But doing these shows week on week gives you an insight. But what's great is at the end of the month, we also do the monthly one, which gives you the roundup for the month. So that is a great insight as well. So be sure to always watch those. But that was your statistics for Fife. Now we're going to do a run through of what we were doing in particular last week as an agency. So this is where we look at properties that sold, coming soon, and also completed, so over the line. So you'll be able to now disclose the results that they've achieved. So the first sold then, it's quite a big script this week, so you'll have to bear with me. The first sold then is, let's pull it up on the screen actually so you can reference it. The first one is Roger Street in Cellar Dyke. Now, this is a slightly different property because it was actually a development opportunity. So previous, it was a big commercial property. It was Barnett's, the Bakers, and yes, all of that you can see along the right-hand side, so that whole part of the building was also included as well. So it started from the shop front here, and it was this whole length along, and then it was also these levels up as well. So it's a big property, and it was on for offers of 220,000. Substantial, as you can see, and it is a B listed property that actually has full planning permissions, and it's actually to create a 3-bedroom house in this section here, and then 4 1-bedroom apartments utilizing this space here. So it's a brilliant opportunity, obviously, for somebody to take on. They know they're going to have a brilliant return on them, not only obviously when they're finished, but in terms of location. It is going to be desirable. But as well, the seller is delighted that that is over the line because it's a slightly unique property. It's obviously not just your average residential property. Likewise, it wasn't just your average commercial property because it was so vast and substantial, with also plans in place as well. So that, as I say, went for offers over 220,000. And when it's gone through the missive stage, we'll be able to disclose what we achieved on it. Which leads me to say, if you have a commercial property or a property that's maybe sitting abandoned perhaps, and it's got planning permission, it's got consent, or it's a maybe slightly unique property and it's not just your average residential home and you're looking to sell, or even just get it valued, it is something that we obviously work with and get results on. So please feel free to reach out to us, and we can obviously get an agent out to you, and then we can discuss next steps and how we can obviously help you through your journey with that property. Next is moving to the KYI area, and obviously I did say we contributed to the sales within the Leven area last week. So the first one being Green Gates, and you're absolutely right, you can see that it was sold within 1 week, which is a brilliant result. And this is a 3-bedroom mid-terrace property, moving condition, ready to go, bright and modern interiors. So it was an absolutely fantastic popular property, and the new owners are absolutely delighted to be moving into that home and be able to take full advantage that they don't need to do a thing. Sellers are delighted as well because we actually have an internal chain going on, so we're actually managing an entire chain through a couple of different properties, so the sellers are delighted that it's helping keep him moving it along. And this one was on the market for offers over 130,000. Now, the next one is in West Weems. So this was Kincraig in West Weems. Brilliant location. When you drive down that hill and you're just greeted by the Firth of Forth and just stunning views, it's a brilliant location. And you know that they're going to be able to take full advantage of those views. Now, this is a 3-bedroom mid-terrace property. It was on for offers over 155,000. We sold it in 4 weeks, which is brilliant. And it was a, as I say, 3-bedroom mid-terrace, and it's an opportunity to add value with this one as well. So they know going in there, anything that they do, put their own stamp on it, make it their own, take full advantage of those views, but know that they're adding instant value. So the new owners are obviously delighted to get stuck in there and make it their own. Likewise, the seller is delighted that they got obviously a brilliant result. in just 4 weeks. Now, another property, again, this is a really popular one, and we were inundated with this one, but this is Cooper Road, Leven. So this is if you are coming from either Leven, Kennyway, you've passed Lethen Fuse Caravan Park, and you are heading to kind of Craigrothy, St Andrews, Cooper. It was on your right-hand side, tucked down a wee track, so it's really private and tucked away. What was brilliant is just how inundated we were with this one. It was on for offers over 200,000, so a brilliant price point. But what was great is it's 2 bedrooms, 2 receptions, detached, substantial plot, countryside location with not only countryside views but also sea views as well. So great opportunity. And look at that, it's like picture postcard perfect. Character, really charming property. So if you have a property similar to that, you think, as I say, people missed out on this one because we were inundated. So please do reach out to us and we'll be more than happy to obviously speak with you. So that is what we have sold and accepted offers on last week. So some brilliant results, different price points, different areas, different styles of properties as well. But next we can discuss coming soon. So this is properties that myself and Perry have been out, we valued them and are going to be coming to market with ourselves. So we're just going through the marketing and obviously we've got the pre-portals to do. So are coming soon. If you aren't aware of what we do, it's what we do differently. Basically, it's what helps us stand out from the crowd and it's what gets properties sold. But it's a prime opportunity if you are a buyer out there and you are looking for your next home within Fife or a specific micro region. You need to make sure you're following our social media pages. So we have a Facebook page for each relevant area within Fife. So if you're looking in Glenrothes page. If you're looking in St Andrews page, and likewise for all the micro regions. If you're open to quite a few areas in Fife, just make sure you follow them all. But you are looking to see the agent's face and the words pre-portal, and that is a prime opportunity if you are a cash buyer and you can make an offer that the seller just can't refuse before this goes to Rightmove, Zoopla, and your own sites, then this is your prime opportunity. So if you watch that video and it ticks all your boxes, then you need to act fast. And as I say, cash buyer and make a strong offer to stop that property going to the market. It's a full video walkthrough. So we start at the front of the property, we do your full internal tour. So you're seeing the entirety of the property internally and externally. And then we also discuss location. Likewise, we then tell you the price point that we're expecting to bring the property to market at. If it does tick your boxes and you obviously do qualify, we can get you through the door before anybody else because you're in that prime position. But it is an absolutely prime opportunity. So the first one, I am doing the pre-portal for on Thursday. This is in Celadike, so it'll be on the East Snook page, and it's a 3-bedroom character terraced townhouse. And when I tell you the views from this property are incredible, they are completely uninterrupted, panoramic, right across the Firth of Forth. And it's a really spacious property, and you don't realise standing out the front, standing on George Street, how much property you're getting. It's got a beautiful spiral staircase as well, a gorgeous open plan dining living room, and there's a window at the rear, and it's basically the width of the property because it's just completely panoramic. And the current seller is like, I don't close my curtains or blinds because why would I want to? There's also an opportunity as well, if you want, that you could actually add like a balcony terrace to this property, and when you see it, you'll understand why, because it's just perfect. I'm excited for this one because it's got so much space, but the views are incredible. And that's, as I say, 3-bedroom, but there is potential to develop as well. And that one, as I say, will be doing the pre-portal on Thursday, so you don't have to wait long. The next one is Lomond Crescent in Falkland. Now, this is a 3-bedroom, semi-detached, desirable location because it's great if you're looking for a village lifestyle but still close to your amenities. 3-bedroom, semi-detached. It's a really spacious property. So this one is not to be missed. It's going to be perfect if you're a first-time buyer, if you're looking to upsize, if you're obviously just a family, if you've perhaps got people, or if you've got children, at the primary school, because actually your back garden literally looks onto the primary school. So it's brilliant if you're just looking to put your wee one into school. So brilliant opportunity with this one. As I say, Lomond Crescent, Falkland. We're just early stages of the marketing, but that will be on our Cooper page. Then the next one is Main Street in West Weems. So this is a 2-bedroom mid-terrace property. And obviously it's West Weems. We've just sold obviously King Craig in West Weems. So it'll be great because if anybody missed out on that, we'll be able to cross-match with this one. But it does mean you are a prime opportunity to get in there, and it's West Beams. It is absolutely stunning location. I always feel like I'm in the East Nook when I'm there. So it's a great location, but still close to all of your amenities, which is fab. So Perry will be doing the pre-portal for that one, and you don't have to wait long. So that is our coming soons now completed. So this is properties that have gone through the conveyancing stage and are now sold. New buyers are in enjoying them. So we can now obviously disclose what they went for. So the first one was Bank Street in Cooper. Now this was a 2-bedroom detached lodge, charming property, amazing features, while being situated on a really substantial plot that you could actually further develop if you wanted to. Close to all your amenities, great if you needed to get to St Andrews, Dundee or beyond. And this sold for 187,000. The buyer is delighted because they are moving into the area, and the seller's delighted because they actually went on to purchase one of our properties, so we're able to manage the entire chain. Next one that completed was Pickford Crescent in Cellardyke. So this one was a 2-bedroom semi-detached bungalow, ready to move in, off-street parking, great corner plot, but there was potential to extend as well. So the buyer going in there knows anything that they add is only going to add value. And they sold for 171,000. Plus, great because it's one level living as well, which we know is always sought after. The next one is Lawrence Drive in Leven. So this was a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom extended semi-detached property with an opportunity to add value. This one was actually a brilliant result because we got 10,000 over the home report value. So the sellers were absolutely delighted because it helped them move on with their journey, but the buyer is delighted because they've moved into something brilliant footprint, and actually they get to just finish it off and add their own stamp. And 10,000 over the home report is a brilliant result. And we had people that missed out on that one. That was a popular one. So if you do have a similar property like that and you're looking for 10,000 or more over home report value, then pick up the phone and we can obviously get Perry out to you. So that is what we were doing in Fife last week for ourselves. And before we round up the show, let's chat over shows that have taken place so you know what to go back and rewatch. Obviously, we now do the update on a Tuesday, but your Wealth Creation show still takes place on a Wednesday. So the Wealth Creation show, it takes place on a Monday. I'm getting ahead of myself. So that still took place yesterday. And yesterday's show, if you weren't able to watch it live, you can still go back and watch the rerun. And it's with Jim Parker, one of the UK's most successful property investors, and Richard Cook as well, our lettings director. And yesterday's topic was back to the future and the principle of kind of propelling yourself forward in time and kind of working backwards with the knowledge of what you need to achieve can be extremely powerful. And the great thing is you don't need to obviously be time traveling to do that. Whether it be a micro or a side hustle, business owners, they sometimes shy away from creating a plan for success because the process of planning will raise a host of factors, including maybe perceptions of wealth and also fear, perhaps. And if this is where you perhaps are now, you're not the first and you certainly aren't going to be the last. But this is a great topic. So as I say, you've got Jim Parker and Richard Cook on hand that discussed that yesterday. So do go back and watch the rerun. And likewise, if you have any questions on that or any hints or tips, feel free to put them in the comments. Another one that was done was myself and Perry did the May Fife property market update, and that had some brilliant statistics and figures in it. So whether it be you are a buyer or a seller, we're actually discussing what type of market it is just now. So certainly go back and watch that one. And then another one that took place was if you are perhaps a landlord or if you are looking to become a landlord, then this is difficult tenants. Are they all bad and what can you do about it? Most tenancies run their course without a major hiccup or any hitches. Ending up with difficult tenants is a concern for landlords, and we hear that day in, day out. But you've got lettings director Richard Cook and the lettings agent Karen Marshall on hand discussing that subject, and again giving hints and tips on how you can spot and potentially avoid that happening. So that's the shows that have taken place. So that is another week of the market update. Hope you have a fab week, and I will see you next Tuesday to do another weekly update. All the best, and any comments, feel free to put them. Take care. Bye for now.